Oh, storm
Have you
terror.
heard?
Did
Storm
something bad
terror.
happen again?
Have you heard? Storm terror.
Oh, storm terror. Did something bad happen again?
What they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful it is.
Have you heard? Storm terror.
Oh, storm terror. Did something bad happen again?
Have you heard? Storm terror.
Oh, storm terror. Did something bad happen again?
Hey everyone. I was just checking that everything works correctly. Hopefully nothing is on fire. And we can have a good stream today.
Storm terror.
Hopefully my connection won't drop. There's a storm going on outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but hopefully
Storm terror.
nothing is wrong.
Something bad happen again?
I pray to God that my connection doesn't drop, because while I was walking, I got showered by rain so heavily that I was like, there's no way I would be able to stream today, but here we are. Yeah, hi everyone, once again. Hey Todoroki, hey Albedo, hope you're doing guys okay. I'm just still kinda
Storm terror.
trying to see if everything working. Hopefully, yes. Looks like everything is fine. Alright, I guess we can start then. If anything goes wrong, let me know guys. I'll try to monitor on my end, but just in case. But yeah, hopefully you guys doing okay. Hopefully on Thursday is not too bad for you. Tomorrow is Friday. Just need to power through one more day, and the weekends are ahead of us. In case you guys wondering, I didn't really do much since yesterday. Just as usual, went to work and just came back not too long ago.
There's a strange wanderer near Wolfen.
Had to take a long shower in case I go ill, which I obviously wouldn't want. Just go near my computer. But yeah, today we probably will continue trailing along the story quest of Sumeru. I think today we probably should get to Scaramouche. I'm not 100% sure how far in the story quest I am currently, but I'm pretty sure we should be somewhere close. So it should be either today or tomorrow that we get to Scaramouche, which hopefully will be fun. Because I do look forward to fighting him. That should be pretty interesting. But yeah, we're gonna start as usual, completing a little bit of daily commissions while I talk to you guys. Let me know also in the future if you would prefer to rather not see me do daily stuff, because I kind of take this time as to talk to you, because usually when I do story I try not to interrupt it too much, as to not make it too out of sync, if you will. Because I know that some of you guys probably enjoy like experiencing the story together with me, rather than me just blabbering while interrupting other characters talking. So this is kind of the time I take like half an hour or so just talk to you guys and see what you're up to. This is one of the commissions that I actually, like, I even made the entire video about this. I don't know if you guys saw it, but basically I had issues with getting like poetry commission for Ela. I couldn't get it for over a year, and I got it only once throughout playing Genshin for almost 2 years. And you get achievement from it, so it's kind of a bummer when you can get certain commissions. Which is one of the things that I'm not the biggest fan about Genshin, because sometimes like certain commissions, especially the ones that link to like quests, like some in Inazuma and some in Mondstadt, if you never get them, you can't really do quests, which is a little bit upsetting. Because I remember, like in Mondstadt, I think you need to complete the Futui commission in order to unlock the quest. At least one of them, I think. And in Inazuma, there's quite a few. I'm not sure about Sumeru, but I think Sumeru might have similar stuff going on, from my experience. Which kind of grinds my gears, because I'm not like a completionist, but I do like to get achievements and like test my skill, if you will, because quite a few achievements actually require you to be good, at least somewhat, and pay attention to the game, which I enjoy. But then there's certain achievements that just are not based on skill whatsoever, and just based on luck, of you getting lucky with getting commissions. Oh hey Doc, hopefully you're doing okay. I'm just getting into it so far. Like I made the entire stream of like trying to get a achievement once. I think Doc was there, he can confirm that sometimes it could be fun, but sometimes it's just plain annoying.
I'm going in.
I may have overestimated myself. Oh hey Bree, I'm doing okay. Just was making sure I pronounce your name right. Sorry about that. I know sometimes my English is not my first language, so I try to make sure that I don't misspoke in any way. Misspeak, I guess. But yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm Dark. Not too bad. Not too bad. Just as I was saying before, got into a little bit of a predicament while on my way back home. Got into like a storm situation. Like, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's like a little bit of thunder going on. So I was like soaked completely on my way back. And like, I even wear a waterproof coat, because you might as well in England. And it didn't do much. I still got like almost completely from head to toe covered in water. As you would expect from a storm, but still. And it was like one of the days where I didn't bother bringing an umbrella, because I didn't expect there to be a storm. So yeah, that was not too pleasant. But other than that, not too bad. Like, I always take live streaming with you guys as a kind of chill time, where I can just talk about whatever and have fun with you guys. It kind of helps me to not think about stressful things and whatnot. Just have some fun while at it.
There is no escape.
Oh yeah, tomorrow is Black Friday. I almost forgot. I hope you guys bought some good bargains. Maybe some good deals going on. I personally haven't even looked myself. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna get like, because I get paid tomorrow, so it's kind of like
in sync with the actual Black Friday, so I might get something, but... Because I was thinking of, like, maybe getting a new chair or something, because this one is a little bit squeaky, the one I'm using right now. But yeah. Not sure if you guys even care about stuff like Black Friday. I know it's a big thing in America, but in England we don't really, like, do much, really. Like, I know some people, most people just buy stuff online. Like, we don't actually go to physical stores. Like, it's very rare for British people to actually visit physical stores nowadays. Especially when it's, like, bad weather outside. Like, the entire trip outside for everyone in Britain is decided by two factors. How dark is it outside, and is it raining? And if both of those yes, then we not go anywhere. Stay home. Oh, I think, by the way, this commission is related to one of the achievements as well. I think if you do it like 5 times, you get some sort of achievement, if I'm not mistaken. Unless it's other type of it. Because I know there's one where you need to do it 5 times between like Glory and Goldwind, and you get an achievement from it. I don't think I got it on this account yet, but I'm not 100% sure. Alright, I think that was all. Oh, there's new actual event going on. I didn't even know that. Ooh, let's see what it's about. Ah, it's one of those, like, hypothesis, like, boss rushes. This event is one of my personal favorites, just because it's so fun to just go straight up and kill, like, a bunch of bosses in succession. I think it's super, super fun. I wish Genshin did more events like this, because I think this is one of the funnest type of events they have. Like, I do enjoy other type of events, like the hide-and-seek one is pretty fun, and I also like the mini-games. But just something about, like, going in and testing your limits is really fun for me, personally. And I personally think this should be, like, a permanent thing. That we can just go and test, like, our builds. I think that would be pretty interesting. Because, like, bosses overall nowadays are pretty fast to kill. Like, you can't really test as much. And Abyss is not usually always the right, like, enemies for you to test specific characters. Because if, like, you want to test somebody like Hutao and the enemies are, like, Hydra, you can't really do much about it. So, yeah. I'll definitely check this one out when, like, I have a bit more time. I'll do it with you guys. Together we'll see how far I can get. But yeah. Oh, hey, Gritesh. Hopefully you're doing okay. Oh, is it right, Bree? I saw I was, like, doing it 5 times. I'm not, like, super familiar on commissions and the achievements. Like, I know a few here and there, but I was never, like, the type of person to actually complete all of them. I think I never done all of them. I did, like, majority of Mondstadt and the Inazuma ones. I never did Liyue ones, because I think I jumped straight from Mondstadt to Inazuma commissions. I never actually did Liyue ones. So that might be interesting to do at some point, because all of those are relatively new for me. And also, I obviously never did ones in Sumeru yet, so that should be fun. Like, I know there's some in Sumeru where you need to do, like, in succession, certain quests and whatnot. So this should be interesting. Oh, we don't get crowned on this one. Oh well, I mean, it still should be fun. Nothing else going on. That's fine.
Sure, I've forgotten something.
But yeah, I'm really glad that this event coming back, because last time it was here, I really enjoyed it, personally. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a sucker for, like, damage testing. Because whenever I play games, I kind of try to maximize my damage output, just not for like any like vain reason, like I wanna see big numbers. I just kind of find it fun to like think of new builds and build like cool character setups. I think that's one of the most fun things for me in Genshin. Because I don't usually like to just go with like standard builds. Like sometimes I like to go with quirky ones. Like one time I built my Ganyu as a support, which I know is a little bit unconventional. And I also built my Bennett as a damage dealer once, which was fun. But yeah, I'm into like weird builds.
Welcome to the Adventurers Guild.
Oh, hey Machira, hope you doing okay? Hopefully you have a good day today, good evening, depending on where you are. But yeah guys, in case you just came in, we're just gonna do like daily stuff on this account, and then we're gonna move on to sumeru questing. In case you missed some of the live streams, we are currently on, I think we kind of like in a desert. We figuring out about rebels stuff. I think that's where we kind of at, if I do remember correctly.
Today's commissions.
So I'm not 100% sure how far that is in like the entire story so far, but it should be relatively close to Scaramouche, I think. I could be wrong, but hopefully not, because I do look forward to meeting him for the first time, because I never did the event where you like meet him for the first time. What was it called? Like Wind Trace event or something like that, like the one where you meet him in Mondstadt. I never did that one, and I never did the second time you meet him. I don't remember which one it was, but I didn't do that one either. So this would be like the first time I actually meet him in game, I think, which should be interesting. Because I know that when you meet like Futui for the first time, they kind of show like a name card, which I find interesting. Because I think the story adapts to whether you know the character or not, which is a nice touch. I mean, I might do Ascension quests. Like, I already kind of put in my title that I'm gonna meet Scaramouche, so I can't really, like, back out on that. But I'll tell you what, if we don't meet Scaramouche in about an hour after doing the quest, I might come back and just do Ascension today. And tomorrow, we might just do, like, full day of, well, full evening, since it's Friday, until I actually get to Scaramouche. And on weekends we're actually gonna do more for this account, because I do wanna start building stuff and whatnot, because so far I haven't done much on it. Like, I only been doing daily stuff, but I haven't actually did much of the exploration. Like, if you take a look, the only stuff that I did was a little bit of Mondstadt. Like, I didn't even complete the entire Mondstadt. Like, I unlocked only about half of the chests. And I didn't do anything in Leeway. Like, I had 2 chests here. And obviously I don't have Inazuma unlocked. And I didn't do anything in Sumeru. I only unlocked like teleports just to see the map. But yeah, so I have a lot of stuff to explore on this account and a lot of Primo Gems to get. Which I want to do because I'm planning on summoning for Scaramouche. And I kind of need more funds in order to do so. Because so far I'm not like broke or anything, but it's not really enough to like guarantee him, because I don't have pity or anything. So I'd like to at least double this amount, and I might just save up like this Acquainting Fates, like 80 of them, and just blast through, because I didn't do any summons of that like standard banner, and we might like do 80 at a time and just see what I can get. We might get somebody fun to play around with, like Diluc, or maybe even Tanari, who I didn't play with, but hopefully I might get him, or we can get some cool weapon, like Wolf's Gravestone or like Primordial J Spear. I think that might be quite interesting.
Shine down. Teamwork is
Oh, tomorrow is also the live stream. I was planning on streaming it, but I don't think I can make it because I'll be at work. So, because I was planning to do like a watch party for you guys, but I don't think I can make it. I might like watch it later, like after it's like go upload, like the key moments with you guys, just to see what it's about. But I think it, unless it starts when I'm home, which I don't think so, because I think it starts at about 4 or 3 p.m. CA time or something like that, which I think it's a little bit early for me. I think it's about like 10 or 12 on my time, which obviously I'm not going to be home, so can't really do that. But if it's something like super interesting, I might just do like a reaction for my own stuff with you guys tomorrow on the stream, like first thing, and see if there's anything fun going on. But if it's like just Scaramouche stuff, then I might just tell you like my opinion about it. But hopefully it's good. Actually, now that I think about it, we do get the card game next update, so that's one thing to look forward to, I guess. Which I am pretty hyped about, because I do like card games. I was like a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was a kid. So that's something I'm looking forward to quite a bit. And I hope it's not like one of those card games where like you don't even need to think, you just kind of like put whatever. I hope it's more like Hearthstone, where you at least need to think of some strategies maybe. The monthly stuff, actually not sure. Let me check. I might have gotten a few. Let's see. Oh, actually I didn't. I might do like a temple or two just to get those monthly wishes and maybe get Lila on the way. Because I think that's probably worth it, considering I don't have pity built up. Like, I literally have Nahida. Like, I have one pity, which is whatever. Because even if I get like 5-stack character, it's not going to be the end of the world. So, I might do this. I'll think about it. I might do like some sort of challenge, and if I like fail it or whatever, I might pull, just to make it interesting. Just so I don't pull for no reason. I might like do a Abyss run or something, and if I fail it, or if I don't complete it, I might just pull. It might be interesting. Because just pulling is boring. We'll add some sort of fun twist to it.
Shine down. Let's light it up.
Everyone hold hands.
Oh, hey, Clicks. Hopefully you're doing okay. Oh, come on.
Illusion shattered.
I see everything.
Cascade.
I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like my Nahida to be built as a damage dealer. I don't know many people use her as damage dealer, but for some reason I really like her that way. Because I use Withers in her. And like, even though she's underleveled and without talents, just something about Wither and Nahida like really makes me like her more. I don't know what it is about. Especially when she gets like 240 mastery. When she takes the field. Like, she just pops off.
The world remains constant over the centuries.
But human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transitory.
I don't remember the last time I actually did ley lines, like actually for real when I needed to do them. Because I was always one of those people that never needed Mora or experience because I never leveled up like every single character I ever got. I only did like a few. But now when I'm doing it, I realize why I never did it, because it's so exhausting.
Let's light it up!
Mind the deluge.
Because like, I'll show you later why I never done them. Because the account that I used to play on, I think I have like 26 million more on. And that's only because I never leveled up anyone besides like my main team that I played as. So I just always stockpiled like resources and never used them for anything. Let's see, where's the one here? This one's a little bit closer. Let's do this one. I also started reading today a pretty interesting manga. Or manhwa, I guess, because it is Korean.
There is no escape.
And it's basically about a plot, which is not the most original in the world, but I thought it was interesting. The entire story basically starts from a character who has the same name as like the protagonist, and who is disgustingly strong, and he's like exceptionally handsome. He has like a noble lineage and everything. And the entire plot point revolves around him and the protagonist having the same name. Like they both named Leon.
Off we go!
And like the protagonist keeps challenging this noble dude over and over again, and obviously losing every single time. And at one point, he was kind of like training, and he just started like screaming all of a sudden and asking like the goddess or whatever of why his efforts are in vain or whatever, or something like that, because he would like train every single time while the other people didn't need to train and were stronger than him. So as soon as he said that, like a giant sword just falls off from the sky for no reason. And just tells him to like pick it up and become like a sort of a hero. Because originally, like the other Leon was supposed to be like this massive hero dude who would like save the world, who would become like the next king and whatnot. But instead of that, our protagonist gets that opportunity of like becoming a hero, even though he's like much weaker than the other Leon. And the interesting fact is that at first he actually rejects the sword because he's like, I don't want my effort to be in vain, and everybody should have equal opportunities, which I found interesting. But then Swords anyway was like became sentient all of a sudden and told the protagonist that he's like a reincarnation of the old hero. And so then begins like a training arc for the character as soon as he pulls out the sword. And one of the interesting points about this manhwa is that the sword itself kind of has like a monologue stages where he talks to someone, but it's never disclosed who. And he kind of like talks about the main character and his reasoning for choosing him instead of the other, Leon. And it's kind of like a entire plot point in itself. Like, who is this reincarnation of a king talking to? But yeah, overall it's pretty interesting. Like, I didn't read it too far, but I think it has around 40 chapters or so, and I think I only read like 10. But I really like the stories where they take like an interesting concept and just build the entire story around it. Because I know like building the original world and like character tropes is not easy, considering a lot of them have been done. And like, unless you're super creative, it's not easy to come up with something that nobody else have before. Especially for stuff like manga or manhwa. Considering it's like really old type of art at this point, like it's decades old. And unless you like super creative artists, it's much easier to just take something that works and just build on it in an interesting way. Alright, I guess I'll also do while I talk about it, because it's pretty fascinating subject to me personally. I don't know about you guys. I'll just do some unusual hilichurl hunting while I talk about it. But yeah, basically, to me it's a pretty fascinating subject, because I really like story building, and I'm also fascinated by character building. Because, like, when you think about it, building an entire world from nothing is exceptionally hard, because you have to not only build the characters in that world, you also have to build, like, the rules and the regulation of the world. Because, especially for power fantasies, like, it's exceptionally easy to make the world that's too good or too strong, where, like, laws just don't apply. It's also exceptionally hard to follow your own rules. Because if you set up like a power system, like let's say magic as an example. If you use magic, at some point you're gonna reach a wall where the characters you already created either too strong or too weak, depending on like what theme you're going with. And it's exceptionally hard to balance power systems. Because like a lot of mangas and anime have like a very shaky power system. Like, for example, I know it's not really a power fantasy, but like One Punch Man. The power system there is depending basically on what Saitama can kill or not. So anyone that Saitama can one punch is essentially weak, and then anyone that takes at least one punch from Saitama is exceptionally strong. And that's the entire power system in that world. The same thing happens in like a lot of shonens. Like Hunter x Hunter is one of my personal favorites when it comes to world building and the entire like story arc in itself. Because Hunter x Hunter has a very well balanced power system, if that makes sense. Simply because, like, the main character is not, like, super strong. Like, he has his moments, obviously. Especially when he, like, transforms into his older self. Like, at that point, yes, you can argue that the power system goes completely out the window. But at the same time, usually, the entire premise of the series is that Gon and Killua just kind of go through levels, if you will, of power, and they fight similar characters. Like, they go from just like Hunter's exam, where they fight like almost normal people, and then they go jump to like in 100 episodes or so to the point where they fight like monsters that were genetically created, like the Ants arc, the entire monster one. I found it exceptionally cool, especially because of the king of the ants. I think his name was Miriam or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But that's why I like it, because it never tries to like implement exceptionally strong characters, and if it does, it only matches them to other exceptionally strong characters, because like the King of Ants, Miriam, never fought Gorn or Killua. The only ones he ever fought was Neru, who is like the strongest of humankind, which I personally find quite enjoyable, because I like the fights between strong and fights between weak. Like, as long as the power balance is maintained, I find it exceptionally cool. Because if there's no power balance, it's very easy to like get disconnected from a fight. Because if one character is too strong and one character is too weak, there's no really power struggle or anything, so there's no like suspension of who's gonna win and who's gonna lose and why. Which I guess is the main reason why I enjoy a very well balanced power systems in like any medium, really. Just because it brings a sense of unexpected results. Because like in a lot of shonens you really can like expect what's gonna happen. Like usually main protagonist wins in 90% of the cases, in 90% of shows. Like it's very rare for protagonists to lose, like at all. But sometimes some shows do make them lose. That's why I like Bleach so much. Like I know I talked about Bleach quite a lot, but there's a reason for it, because in Bleach, Ichigo loses quite a lot. Like when you think about it, he loses to Byakuya, he loses to Gin, he loses to Ulquiorra multiple times. He loses to Aizen, obviously. He loses pretty much almost everyone Ichigo fought, he lost to at least once. Which is unusual, because usually what happens is protagonist loses once and then they never lose again. Because like they learn the lesson and they never lose again. And that's the entire trope for most like mediums. Like the character loses once and then they kind of like realize, oh, this was my mistake and I'll never lose again because I realized that mistake. But Ichigo just kind of like, you know what, I'll lose here, I'll lose there. And it kind of makes it more fun to me personally, because like the fights in Bleach are usually very intense and it's usually very unexpected results as well. Because like one of my favorite fights was against Kenpachi in like Soul Society arc, because at that point neither really won. It was kind of like a draw, but till the end you kind of, it had you guessing or who's gonna die or not. Because like fight against Byakuya was unexpected, but at the same time it was less like high stakes online. Because unlike Kenpachi, Byakuya is not insane. So he didn't like put his life on the line. And like Bleach also has some of my personal favorite villains as well. Like when you think about Espada, everyone in Espada had a motivation and a cool like reasoning behind their action. Like Stark just wanted to have a family. The Baragon just wanted to like reclaim his throne. Halibel just wanted to like belong somewhere. Who else? Ulquiorra just wanted to like have emotions really, and just wanted to figure out what he wanted in life. Noitora was just kind of insane and he liked to fight. He was kind of like Kenpachi of the Espada. And everybody below there also, like Grimjoe. Like Grimjoe is actually one of my personal favorite Espadas, for the simple reason of the fact that he's not really seen as an evil character, nor is he seen as a good character. He's kind of like in between, which I really like, because I'm a big sucker for anti-villains in any medium, really. And especially when he like tried to go against Ulquiorra, I thought it was pretty fun.
Be still.
The sad part was that he got deleted by Noitoro. Well, not really, but we saw he got deleted by Noitoro. And obviously because Aizen is there. And like Aizen to me was somebody that I actually liked, not just because he was a villain. I liked him because he never made moves that were expected. Like he didn't function like a regular villain. Because usually every single villain in like anime especially has a certain plot to them. And that plot revolves around either like making sure that they fuck protagonists as hard as possible in every single way, and like make sure that they don't like do what they want at any given point, or they just mind their own business and wait until protagonist comes and beats their ass. But Aizen was neither. Aizen was more of a character who just had everything planned from the beginning. And like never bothered about anyone, just because he was so good that he got pre-planned everything before he even started doing anything. Like he was so confident in himself that he would never lose or never like fail in whatever he's doing, that he never showed a single care for anything happening. And I always find that exceptionally cool whenever villains do that. Oh, sorry to hear that, gang. Hopefully you get lucky with your next pull. It's rough, I know. Sometimes you don't, unfortunately, get what you want. But hopefully luck turns around to you. And you might get two. You never know. Oh, hey, Aya. Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm just kind of talking about Bleach and whatnot. Just trying to share my view on the game. Not the game. Well, there are games, but that's a different topic. About anime. I'm just simping for Aizen overall. Trying to tell people why I think Aizen is one of the coolest villains in, like, anime history. But yeah, if you guys never watched Bleach, basically, the entire idea of Aizen is that he is like this big bad dude who was one of the good guys, like one of the top good guys. But at a certain point, he just decided, you know what? I kind of don't want to be good anymore. So what he did, he pretty much orchestrated his entire death. And like made the entire Soul Society, which is like main place for our protagonist to like do stuff in. He orchestrated his entire death. And just decided, you know what? I'm gonna mess everyone's day off. And just did a lot of crazy things that just made everyone question who actually killed him to begin with. And at a certain point, he just randomly shows up, kills a few people, and just pieces out with a few other, like, captains. While stealing one of the most, like, powerful artifacts, if you will, I guess. To basically make him a god in the future. And that's kind of the premise of Aizen, to put it simply. And as soon as he pieces out, he goes into like an evil world known as Huecamundo. And he basically just makes a king of that world into his own subordinate. And from there just starts like making experiments and building like his own army of sorts. Until one day he decides to kidnap the protagonist's future wife because she has the power of like increasing time and like healing any wounds imaginable for no apparent reason. So he kidnaps her in order to make him go out quicker. And then, as soon as that happens, our protagonist goes into their world in order to save her, obviously.
Mind the deluge.
And there's like a big fight going on between good guys and the bad guys. From both like human world and Huecamundo. And at a certain point, our main character finally rescues his like love interest. And as soon as that happens, our protagonist goes back into like the main world where he's from and starts to duke it out with Aizen, the main villain. And like a lot of people die from both good and bad guys. A lot of things happen. The main good guy loses like an arm and stuff. And then pretty much Aizen just kicks everyone's ass. And then our protagonist goes into training arc with his dad, who is like one of the old captains as well. And as soon as he finishes his training arc, he goes back for the round 2 with the main villain guy. And he beats him then by unleashing his like secret power and losing his entire accumulated like spirit potential and whatnot. And becomes pretty much a regular human. And just kind of seals the Aizen in prison of sorts. But he really doesn't do that, because even though Aizen is sealed, he still controls everyone behind the scene. And that's kinda the basic tale of first half of Bleach, if you will. Like, there's also some other stuff going on in between. But not to the extent that... Well, I mean, I can tell you, I guess. So basically, when Ichigo loses his power, right? He gets acquainted with other people, not like Soul Reapers, who are like the main good guys. He gets acquainted with people that have superpowers, pretty much. I forgot what they called, but some weird name. And he gets acquainted with them, and he learns how to control his new power that they give him. And he gets like betrayed by one of those like superhuman people. He gets stabbed in the chest, gets all his power sucked out of him. And as soon as he does it, like his main friend of Soul Reapers by the name of Rukia comes to his rescue and stabs him in the chest again to give him his power back, which is how he gets in the first place from her. And then they have like a big fight going on. He beats everyone. And that's where kind of anime ends at that point. Like, unless you guys watched Bleach back in the day, that was all you got. And the problem with that is that manga kept going, which meant that you didn't actually get even half of the story, because the anime at that point, like back in 2012, 2013, ended at the best part possible, which is 1,000-year war, blood war arc, which is like the arc where a lot of characters die and a lot of cool new characters get introduced. Which I'm not gonna spoil, because the anime just came out not too long ago and it's actually pretty good, from what I heard. So I would highly recommend to watch it if you haven't already. But yeah, that's basically like the entire best part of the series, if you will. And they just decided to not do it for about 10 years. And only now it got released. So a lot of people are hyped about it.
There is no escape. This may hurt a little.
Because, like, if you guys never watched Bleach, Bleach used to be huge. Like, it used to be one of the biggest series in the world. On par with, like, Naruto and Dragon Ball. Even more popular in some cases. Because, like, at one point, Bleach used to be #1 most watched anime. Especially in Japan, which is, like, a big deal. Because if you are #1, then you get, like, the best advertisement spots and the best, like, panels to, like, advertise your own stuff in. Which is obviously huge, considering, like, Japan makes majority of its money from, well, manga-wise, from, like, business deals with massive publishers. Not anymore, but that used to be the case back in the day. But basically, if you were #1, you were more likely to get into, like, big publication like Shonen Jump and a few others. So they used to be a pretty big deal. And then all of a sudden, the creator of Bleach just decided, you know what? I'm gonna go to Naruto. And that's what he did. He went to Naruto, and then as soon as he finished that, he was like, you know what? I want to go back to Bleach. And that was a happy moment for a lot of Bleach fans. But he said that, unfortunately, quite a while back, and he only decided to do it now. Not sure why, but I guess better late than never.
Illusion shot. The Temple of Wisdom. Committed to memory.
But yeah, it's kind of like an overview of Bleach in case you never watched it. Because I used to play even games based on Bleach. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's this game called Bleach Brave Souls. And it's a pretty popular game, like it has quite a large following. But it used to be one of my favorite games because I'm obviously a massive Bleach simp. And I love it. Simply because it actually introduced a lot of characters that weren't even released yet in, like, anime. They were mostly from manga. And the funnest thing is that they got the actual voice actors who would be in the original series. Which I thought was really fun. Because, like, they got a special deal with the actual creators of the Bleach. And they got, like, special rights in order to, like, get official artwork from the creator himself, as well as music license and the voice actors. They were originally in the anime and were planned to be later on in anime as well. So that was fun. But I stopped playing it a while back just because it was exceptionally competitive at a time. I don't know if it is still now, but it used to be very, like, heavily pay to win in certain aspects. Like, it wasn't pay to win as a game in general. It was just pay to win in the sense of if you wanted to be competitive in, like, arena. And, like, there was this thing called Guild Wars. Well, it was kind of Guild Wars. It was more of a, like, guild ranking stuff. And you had to have, like, a lot of characters in order to even compete on, like, the same level. And you would get, like, a lot of rewards for very high placements. And Bleach Brave Souls used to suffer immensely from, like, cheaters. Like, it used to be so bad that at a certain point, the cheaters were so common that if you go into co-op, there were rooms specifically made by, like, people who were modding, and they would just, like, blast through content faster than you can ever be, no matter how much pay to win you are. Because, like, they would just have cheats that would just allow them to one-shot every single enemy, both in PvP and PvE. And, like, there was a massive issue for obvious reasons, because, like, it just killed the entire competitive stage of it for majority of people who took the game seriously. And that was kind of the point where I quit as well. But I think they probably fixed it at this point. I think I heard about it. But yeah, that was a massive thing going on. And obviously a lot of people quit because of that as well. Since even whales who like spend thousands of dollars on like daily basis, they just wouldn't be able to compete with people who would hack, because how could they? When somebody can just like one-shot anyone or anything. But if you are a fan of Bleach, I kind of would recommend the game, because actually if you don't like care about PvP that much, the game itself is actually pretty fun. And it's pretty generous in the sense of rewards. Like, as far as I remember, I was fairly, like, I never spent money on the game, but I was always fairly high in the rankings. Like, there's this PvP system which was like, if you ever watch Bleach, there's like different squads in like GOTY 13, which is where Soul Reapers are. So the entire PvP based on that. So you start with like 13, and you move up to like lieutenant, then captain, and then head captain. And I was always into like captain, which was like the best 500 people could only enter, which, considering that the game itself had millions of active players, that was pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. So I would always like be in top 500 of players at any given moment without like spending money ever, because I never bought a single pack or a single like resource, which I was pretty proud of. But I did spend a lot of time, which, you know, when you think about it, would you rather spend money on your time? Like, it's a pretty big debate. And at this point, I don't think I could spend as much time as I used to. Because when I used to play that game, I would have all the time in the world. Because I was like, I don't know, 14 or so. So like, every time I would come back from school, I would just play the game. Without any, like, repercussions whatsoever. I can't do that now for obvious reasons. But that used to be like my life. I would just come back home from school every single day, and I would just play games, which I enjoyed, for like 10 hours at a time. Now I would be lucky if I have even like 4 to 5 hours a day to play. Another reason which I kind of didn't realize would happen to me is that I used to be able to game like non-stop. Like I would be able to like wake up when I was a kid from like 8 a.m. and just game entire day without breaks, without anything. But nowadays I find I'm struggling to even play like 8 hours a day without taking a single break. Because like at that point I just become like a zombie.
All the world holds
And I can't function normally. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. But for some reason just it takes like a massive toll on me if I game like non-stop. Especially if it's like very intense games. It just takes like a massive toll on my mental state. So I have to take like, breaks in between. Unless I'm like doing something else while I'm at it. If I'm like watching something while gaming, like on the second monitor, I'm fine. But if it's like just straight up gaming without doing anything else, because I used to do that was like League, when I used to play League, I would go into like ranked and I would play like 10 matches in a row, each match being like an hour, without breaks, without anything. I would never recommend that, but I used to do that on a regular basis. Which could be fun for some people, but now when I look back at it, it wasn't the wisest choice of my time, but I still do it. Probably, if I had the choice. And I'm not even that old, like I said, I'm 22. It's not like I'm 40 or something. It's just, I don't know why. Just like, as soon as I hit 20, for some reason, my like ability to game all the time just disappeared. So I can't even call myself gamer nowadays. Unfortunately, just... my gamer status deteriorated for some reason. Without me even realizing it. Which is sad, but... you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, I think that should be all... oh, I guess I'll spend another 20 resin. But yeah, that was kind of me rambling for a little bit. I hope you guys weren't too bored about it while I was doing like the daily stuff. Let me know if you want me to like discuss specific topics at any given moment, or if you're fine with me just talking about whatever. Because I assume you guys are fine with it, considering you don't complain about it. Because sometimes I do have some like topics that I discuss with like my friends or whatever, and I just talk for like hours without even realizing, just because I'm passionate about quite a few things. And I also like listening to people who are passionate about certain stuff, like even the subjects that I don't really know much about or even like to begin with. I kind of enjoy listening to people who are passionate about things, because I think if somebody is passionate about the subject, it's just really interesting to listen to it. Some interesting insight you can get from people like that. But yeah, we should be getting to story pretty soon. I'd say in about 5 minutes or so. I'll just complete these... where is it? Oh yeah. This ley line. And we're gonna start doing the actual stuff that we came here for.
Be still.
As I said, hopefully we can meet Scaramouche today.
Shine down. I'm going in. Let's light it up. There is no escape.
All right. And now it should be fine. Alright guys, I'll see you in a minute. I'm just gonna change the account so we can continue with the story. It shouldn't take too long, but I'll be back in a minute. Just entertain yourself for a bit. All right. Let's see how far the story can get us this time. I don't even remember where we left, really. Oh, right, we were exploring this temple, I think. We're doing something with Alhaitham. Don't really remember what, but it was something important. I don't really remember what I needed to do. I guess I need a Dendro character for this part. Let's see. I don't really know if I even have one. Oh, I do. Guess I have Collie.
Everything's ready. Let's go.
Let's see. Guess I just need to do these. Oh, didn't mean to do that.
Stay home.
Verdict is
Oh yeah, thanks if it's just, I was spacing out, I forgot what I was doing yesterday. Took me a minute. I still haven't explored that, like, sumeru at all. I need to do it at some point. What was the last one? Oh, I think it was there. I see it.
this is order. Solidify.
I haven't played with Dilek in a while. Dilek used to be my favorite character as well. It's a shame that he became kind of obsolete at this point.
Stabilize. Order guide you.
Because Dilek used to be one of the strongest characters, if you can believe it. And now, he's not even, unfortunately, in top 10. So, how times have changed. Alright, I think that should be enough for us to continue. Nope.
Look, there's someone over there. Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Wait.
Damn, every time I look at Alhaitham, I'm like... I do understand why people sim for him. That's all I'm gonna say.
You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather.
Well, don't judge the book by its cover, Paimon. We all learned that age is not just a number in Genshin. Because sometimes, some people could be thousands of years old, as in the Hida case, but look like they're 5. So, you never know.
Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life. Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Hopefully not bodies.
Loaded with people?
I was just joking, Paimon, come on.
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh, brainwashing. I see. So my boy Daughtry had a hand in it. Oh, this guy.
Oh, now that you mention it, they're acting the same way.
Correct. The academia is behind all of this.
Well, I'm not surprised.
It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale.
I pray to God at the end of this quest we get to like throw down with a beta guy. Because I have some harsh words to say to him.
First, the academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. As well as being able to exploit the
Didn't mean to
radicals for
skip
their own
that.
ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread.
I kind of wonder if this King Deshret guy was some sort of like pharaoh, in a sense, like for Egyptian people. Because I think it would be pretty interesting, because I think Sumeru is based on like Eastern Asian country, and like this part of Sumeru is obviously based on like Egyptian theme, which is an interesting choice. Because originally I thought that Sumeru would be based on like Indian law, based on like Mahamatra and like all the other stuff. But it's interesting how the mixture of cultures got into one region. It's quite fascinating, to say the least.
Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Most likely to use them as a live farming stock, in a sense. My personal assumption so far is that Doltra is just harvesting the dreams and converting them into energy for like Scaramouche to use for his like giant mech thingy as a fuel, or as some other weird experiment that he's up to.
Throughout this process, one thing has changed: the scholar's identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons. An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
I see, Satvik. I mean, it's not like the wildest guess ever. I mean, you probably could make that guess as well if you like were in my place, but I just find it fascinating how dreams can be harvested in the first place. Like, it's a very interesting concept to begin with. That you can just like manipulate people from within their dreams, because I assume everyone who's like brainwashed, they just kind of within their like dream world, and somehow Dotra is able to manipulate their bodies without like using their mind to do so. So it's like, it's not really a brainwashing, it's more like mind control of sorts, where the body just becomes like a robot in a sorts and just follows commands. Because it's a pretty scary situation to be in. Because I'm often sure those people don't even realize they're being controlled. If their like weird dream, Groundhog Day thing is anything to go by. Because I presume that everyone is just thinking that they're living in a normal world. So they don't even realize they're being controlled. Which is like the actual scary part of it. Because if you're like awake and you realize you're being controlled and you can't really do much about it, at least you kind of know what's going on. But if you don't even know you're being controlled, that's when a scary thing can happen. I still love my boy though, Dotra. Like, no matter how evil he is, I'm still gonna simp for him. But yeah, just as a serious note, I find the plot so far very intriguing and very like unique. Because like before in Genshin, we never really explored like the human side of citizens or whatnot. Because like in Mondstadt, in Leeway, and in Azuma, there was not much to do with like Archons being in charge of anyone or other people are controlling anyone. It was more about like actual dilemmas that were present and that could like be solved through just logical explanation or whatnot. But this one is more of a mess, I guess, if you would say, because when you think about it, there's segregation involved in a desert. There's mind control involved from academia. And there's also human trafficking of sorts going on. Like, there's a pretty loaded story quest so far.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
I mean, I did think that as well. Because, like, it needs to come from somewhere. I don't think you can just create knowledge from nothing. Unless you, like, squeeze out book into juice of some kind and just drink it.
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Hyman doesn't want to think about this.
That's interesting. I didn't think that would be like the point, but it does make sense why somebody would go insane. Because, like, imagine your brain just being juiced out of all the knowledge you accumulate over the years. It's pretty horrifying, honestly.
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
But Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
Oh, I see. That's interesting. So, my other theory is that they use Nahida as kind of like a power generator. Because, well, like, we saw that Nahida is trapped in some sort of, like, ball. So, I assume all of the knowledge that they collect gets transferred back to Nahida. And then somehow Nahida powers, like, the entire sumeru in that way. Or whatever else they got going on. Because, like, it wouldn't make sense to, like, have Nahida in that glowing ball. Because I assume she is, like, the power generator to Imanso or something. Probably. That would be my guess. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, yeah, I did expect this. Like, this wasn't really a news to me. I still want to know why Nahida is there. Is she like a power generator, or if she's just there for no reason?
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge?
I presume the entire point of turning Scaramouche into the god is to, like... It's a wild guess. But I presume what they want to achieve is somehow connect Scaramouche to Celestia and harvest, like, the entire knowledge Celestia has going on. So they can, like, reach that point of knowledge. Because I know that, like, a lot of scholars where the entire point is that pursuit of divine knowledge is, like, a taboo within academia. But I think what they try to do is break out of those, like, taboo things and pursue, like, a higher knowledge where they can become gods themselves eventually. I think that's what's going on, probably. Because, like, it doesn't make sense why would they want to make a god. Because they don't need Nahida to begin with. So it wouldn't make sense why would they want to replace her anyway. So, since they already have her kind of trapped, I guess. So that would be my guess, because I think they fascinated with, like, divine knowledge in the sense of what's going on in Celestia. And I think they just use Scaramouche as a test subject before they can do it to themselves. So they, like, make tests in a sorts, because, like, Scaramouche just doesn't really understand that, and he just wants to pursue, like, godhood without even realizing that he's being used by Dotre and others. Because I don't think Dotre cares about Scaramouche, even though they are on the same team.
The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. But what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects?
If this is the direction of academic progress, then the academia may as well shut its doors.
Fair enough.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
I doubt Al-Haytham can feel to begin with. Like, I don't think I saw his expression change even one bit throughout the entire story so far. I think he just has default at any given point.
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
Well, that's not realistic, but saving as many people as possible. Because, like, it's always a dilemma, like moral dilemma, I guess. It's like going back to like the trolley thing, like a trolley experiment. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's basically this experiment where there's two paths and there's a trolley coming, and you can change the path by like pulling the switch. And if you do that, the trolley gonna kill one person instead of two. But if you don't do anything, two people gonna die, but you're not like affected by it because you didn't do anything. But you can change the fate yourself by pulling the lever and killing less people. And it's like a moral dilemma of whether you should be responsible for killing someone, or if you don't do anything, are you really attached to the outcome because you didn't do anything, you're a passive, just spectator. Which I always find fascinating, but my personal moral judgment in those cases is the good of more people is better than just having like clean conscience. Because like in this particular case, I'd say saving more people is obviously a better choice. Saving as many people as possible, which means that you might need to go to evil routes sometimes. Because unfortunately, being good not always means the best choice. Sometimes you have to be evil in order to contribute to the greater good, which I think what Al-Haytham is kind of going for. Because he's kind of like an anti-hero of sorts, because he realizes that being good, unfortunately, is not going to lead anywhere. Because moral high ground, unfortunately, is not very useful majority of the time.
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The Divine Knowledge Capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
I don't think you want to say that. I mean, have you looked in the mirror? I'm just saying.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Agree?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
Debatable, but okay.
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru village.
Well, that was a pretty eventful conversation. We find out quite a lot of plot points. I also had a little bit of time off to brainstorm about the story, which hopefully you guys don't mind.
We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar Hospital served as the Academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru Village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like a big plot point that one of us is a spy. Hopefully it's not somebody I like. Like, I'll keep that solved for now, but I'll expand on it if it is the case later.
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the Academia.
It's definitely Paimon. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Paimon's probably selling us out. That's my guess. And I'm probably correct.
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, to be fair, Sino is pretty flashy. I mean, there's no way you can't notice him.
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is... Sino's the mole.
Nah, can't be. Have you looked at this man? How can somebody so hilarious be a mole? No way.
Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Alhaitham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
There's a fair point. I mean, he does have white hair, which is unusual. For somebody that's like 15.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the Academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The Academia is monitoring me?
Well, that would make sense, probably. I mean, I don't think somebody like them who just pretty much exploits humans would allow somebody like Sino, who has like the immensely strong sense of justice, to just roam around and do whatever. That would be like a pretty big oversight on their part.
It's not that simple. The Academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the Academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing the thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
That's a little bit unusual. That's gonna be one hell of a detective to spy on Sino.
You're saying that the Academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
That's pretty interesting. Because then it opens a possibility of like predicting the future, pretty much. And that's a pretty loaded subject. Because if you can predict somebody's next movements, you pretty much know the future, really. Especially for somebody like Sino, who is like so one-track minded. You can pretty much just predict what they're gonna do, when they're gonna do it. So that's kind of scary to think about. Because it's like competing against like the algorithm that's so powerful that it knows everything about you before you even do anything. And it knows like what path you will take before you even make a choice of what you're gonna do. So you don't even have a choice of freedom at that point. It's pretty scary stuff.
It predicted my every move.
But then again, it's probably possible just because Sino is so like one-track minded, as I said. It's probably not gonna be as easy with like other characters.
The Academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, the fact that you resigned is proof that their suspicions were well-founded.
I do agree, Savik. That makes sense, I mean. Considering Sino only does two things, which is play card games and enact justice, I'm pretty sure it's not the hardest thing to predict what he's gonna do next. But, and also tell jokes, that's the third one. I mean, it's not the hardest thing ever to predict what he's gonna do, probably.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the Academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
That's actually a pretty interesting aspect as well, because like, now that we know that they know Sino's movements, Sino can just think of what he's gonna do and kind of reverse the predictions on them. Which is a pretty cool idea, honestly. I do like that.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now! If the Academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be... Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Dia just peaced out for no reason without saying a thing. That's pretty weird.
Let's go, guys! After him!
Please, wait! I want to go too!
You want to go too? If so, you have to promise you'll stay safe.
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Remember to pack some food with you! Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure what day I went. She just kind of like didn't even say bye or anything. I hope to God D is normal, because like I'm gonna be distressed if she is. Oh, hey Venom. Hopefully you're doing okay. We're just catching up with the guys in chat on a bit of sumeru questing. I think it's third or fourth. We're doing like the entire sign-on prediction thing against Academia. We just find out about the extraction of human brains. And the Academia controls Sino by predicting his movements and whatnot. That's kind of where we are at the moment. Oh, I see, so the fifth one is the last. That makes sense.
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Looks like we'll need to roll up our sleeves and do some work.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll probably then just blast through Act 5 in like one take tomorrow. But yeah, that should be pretty fun, because I do look forward to getting to know Scaramouche a little bit better. Up to you really, I'm not like super against spoilers. I'm nonchalant about them. I mean, I know what's kind of gonna happen. I know that we fight Scaramouche and kind of like beat his ass and whatnot.
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work.
I mean, unless it's related to Doltre, then maybe not, because like, I actually want to know about Doltre.
Okay. So, we have to dig it out? Whatever's down there looks like it's buried really deep.
Because, like, I hope to God that we actually get to play Doltre while in Sumeru, because I can't wait till Fontaine to get him. Because that's too long. I need my boy now. I hope he comes after the architect guy. What was his name? The blonde one. I forgot his name, but after that guy.
These are likely fragments of an Academia-developed device, something akin to a headset. Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been escorted this way, because there are device fragments scattered around here.
Yeah, that Keva. Thanks, Hedwig. But yeah, that guy. Unless we get Varka after him, because I think we might have Varka popping up at some point. Because I'm pretty interested in Varka as well. I don't really know when we're gonna meet him, because like, there's a lot of stuff going on there hinting at him popping up at some point, but I just don't know if he's gonna be like a Fontaine character or if he's gonna be in Sumeru but at like later points, because I know he is like doing some footy fighting stuff at the moment, which might be like a plot line for Fontaine, but maybe not. I mean, we did get to meet that other like little dude, I forgot his name, the other blonde one, like the one that was reading Varka's letter. I'm really bad at names when it comes to characters I'm not too familiar with, but I think maybe with that little guy we're gonna get Varka, but I'm not 100% sure, because like I know that the entire point of Mondstadt is that most powerful characters actually went on their expedition, so we're probably gonna get more characters besides Varka, like a lot of other cool characters. But I just don't know how they're gonna implement it if it isn't Sumeru. Because I think, didn't they say that they were kind of in like Natlan or whatever? Fighting? Unless they specified that it was somewhere else. Oh yeah, Mika. That's right, that's right. But yeah. I don't know if we got to know where Varka is actually, like, geographically. If he is in Fontaine or like Natlan. Because I thought he was like near Natlan, but maybe not. Because I know that like Fontaine is geographically above Mondstadt, so that would make sense if he is there, because then he can just like come back to Mondstadt when Fontaine comes out. But yeah, because as I said, I don't look at leaks, so I'm not like super familiar with all the characters that are due to come out. I just know that like Scaramouche coming out, and then what was his name, Kevin, comes out afterwards, and after that I'm not familiar with anyone really.
Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find other things nearby.
Is this what we're searching for? It looks kinda scary.
This is definitely a device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan. They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're okay.
Don't worry, your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Interesting.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone far.
I still kind of wonder why would they...
Running on sand is so tiring.
Alright, Paimon.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Ugh, of course it is.
Jesus Christ. As I was trying to say before I got rudely interrupted, I still kind of wonder why would they exile those...
It sounds like an argument.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
Why would they exile those scientists instead of just putting them into those mine facility extraction stuff? Because, like, technically they could have just said that they're insane and just put them in the mine facility rooms. Just extract their knowledge and make them disappear straight up. I just don't really understand why they would need to go through, like, hoops and bounds. Unless they want to blame the desert folks for, like, those scientists disappearing, and then use that as a means to start war with them or something like that, and then like gain more test subjects that way. Because like it's just a little bit hazy in that regard. I probably will do more videos. It's just I was kind of more interested in story right now. I'll definitely plan to do more videos. It's not like I stopped. It just I thought I'll do streaming for a bit, like continuously. But I do have some ideas for videos coming up later. I'll probably do some actually on the weekends now that I think about it. Just because I don't really have time to do both at like weekdays. Because obviously I come back home at like 6 or so. And if I start streaming, I obviously don't really have much time to make videos. But I definitely do more in the future. It's not like I stopped or anything. I just saw that, because like I tried to do daily content for you guys, and I thought like it's either I do videos or streams, and I just kind of find streams a little bit more fun to do on a daily basis. And I just feel like I'll do videos whenever I have like a cool idea or something like that. Oh, no worries. Thanks for coming, Doug. Hopefully you have a good rest of the day. But yeah, as I said, Satvik, I do plan to do like only account, you know, one of those challenge accounts. I do plan to do one of those in the future for fun, because I thought of making only men characters, in a sense of characters that are over 18, which means I'm not going to be able to use Chong Yun or Bennett or Xin Cho, which are the most powerful characters pretty much for males. And that's probably gonna leave me only playing with Kaya for a while, because as you know, 4-stack characters that are over 18 are pretty much non-existent. I think there's only like Toma, Kaya, and who else? Hazel maybe? And that's about it. Everyone else is 5 stars. So I thought that's going to be exceptionally hard, which made it fun. So I'll probably do that. And also, I did think of some other ideas along the way. Like another idea that I had in mind was making a video of what would happen if Dilek never left Knights of Favonius. I already like made a thumbnail and like started writing a script for it. Somewhat. And I'll finish that at some point in the future. And I also had another idea, which was... Actually, I'm not going to spoil that one, because that one is still kind of in the works. And I'm still not sure if I'm going to make it, but it was something to do with, like, traveling from one place in the map to another, and just see how long it would take to get there without, like, teleports. I thought that would be pretty interesting, with like a timer and everything. But yeah, I do have some ideas for videos. It's just I kind of want to finish the story first with Sumeru, and then I can focus more on like casual streams every now and again, and just do videos in between them. But yeah, like I'm still gonna do like daily content. It's just gonna be between videos or streams, depending on how I feel, and if there's like anything interesting to do. But it's kind of like general gist of why I didn't do like a videos for a week. Because like if I stream for 3 hours every single day, obviously I'm not gonna have time to do all this stuff.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do. Need me to...
I knew it. That's our Dia.
Dia? Why would you... Dia! Hey, what are you doing?
Huh?
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? Why are you on their side?
Well, look who's here. Ain't that something?
This complicates things.
You've betrayed Aru Village?
No, no way.
So, this is the great General Mahamatra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself. I have the means and methods, and my ideals are far more admirable than theirs.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Shut it, Paimon.
Nice. Nice. That's what I like to hear.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing can deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting King Deshret. Once our Lord of Old returns to this land, we will have a new beginning.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone. Have all your years as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of King Deshret. Whether I live by the edge of the sword or in peaceful comfort, my soul will always carry this conviction.
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring King Deshret back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life. Even if the chance of success is 1 in a million, we must be willing to give everything we have.
Even if it'll expose you to the academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine here. All you see now is cracks in this desiccated land. But fate has finally dealt me a hand to play against the Academia. With these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the Academia's forces and fight our way beyond the wall of Samiel.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The Academia controls the entirety of Sumeru. Your powers are negligible in comparison. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the Academia, but neither of them are as arrogant as you are.
Yeah. That's some strong words right there.
They look more like pawns of the Academia to me. Why would I listen to anything the people of Greater Lord Rukkhadevada have to say? Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed King Deshret. We desert dwellers will never trust the likes of you.
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile. Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the Academia? These people have no value as bargaining chips, but I could be persuaded to take their place as your next hostage. These scholars were exiled from the Academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be a much greater asset to you.
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with the hostages, do you?
Precisely. Any wise person would gladly accept my offer.
I see. My boy Alhem has some plans going on.
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However, I'd get the chance to observe the scholars, perhaps even find out the truth.
Think you can talk me over with that confident look of yours?
Definitely.
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces against the Academia.
You are the scribe. What do you have against the Academia?
Not all desert dwellers believe in King Deshret, and the same applies to the Academia. Why must all knowledge seekers approve of the Academia's way of doing things?
You Academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on the other side of that wall. I've made myself clear enough. I won't listen to another word from the Dendro Archon's people.
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Archon at their word, but what about me? Do you trust me?
We've known each other for years. Of course I do.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm. Come on, Raman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the Academia, you need to steel yourself. You can't be afraid.
I was actually wondering if Dia's right arm is actually real, or if it's like prosthetic. Because like, it looks like an arm, but at the same time, it might be like a fixed one, you know? Because like, they show that there's arm here, but it could be like that she's missing like this part all the way. Because it would be interesting that she said I would give my right arm for it.
An arm from the Flame Mane. You've piqued my interest. But what if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs. And mercs don't tend to live long unless they have their wits about them.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the Village Keepers together.
Let's do it right here then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't do it.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate! He just wants to make things more difficult!
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
Paimon, just shut up for a second.
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal if you ask me. Raman, I'm holding up my end of the deal here. You'd better not let me down.
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
Goddamn, Paimon just makes quests so much less impactful.
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Dia! Run!
Stop!
I knew it.
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. Where's the sense in cutting my own kin to pieces? You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon tomorrow.
Honestly, if he did cut off her arm, I would go to war with this dude. I would exterminate every single mercenaries I could find within Sumeru. I would go on the war path, honestly. If he touched my woman. Unbelievable. How dare he even think about it?
I was really counting on him not going through with it.
Dia! That was crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if he'd actually cut your arm off?
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm. Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're out on a limb, you gotta double down to seal the deal, you know?
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more where they came from. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there. Wiping them out would do more harm than good.
Unless you wipe them all out, then it would do more good than harm.
As you wish.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened. I should have trusted you.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa, so I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes?
You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be successful in research.
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself?
I mean, that's what he does.
Okay, let's get moving. We should head back to the village and rest up. Today was just a trial run. Noon tomorrow is gonna be the hard part.
You're all here so early.
Looks like we have everyone here. Isak, are you sure you want to come with us?
I'll watch from a safe distance. Dia, I want to be there to bring Grandpa home.
Okay, let's go then.
Dia, wait.
What's the matter?
I heard that you were quite reckless yesterday. No more of that today, understood? Or I'll be very upset with you.
Fine.
Oh, it's a pretty far road to take. Jesus. Alright, I guess we have some time on our hands to discuss the story so far. So, from my understanding, I presume the mercenary group just wants to resurrect their king because somehow the previous Dendro Archon betrayed their god in one way or another. And that's probably why they have such feud with academia to begin with. I'm just surprised that it's never mentioned why Eremites just hate academia so much. Because from what I know, the previous Dendro Archon was actually pretty good. It never mentioned that she'd done anything wrong, really. If anything, everybody praised her so far. Unless King Deshret was some evil god or whatever. And the previous Dendro Archon just wiped him out. Because then it might make sense. Unless King Deshret is a Khaenri'ah guy. Because if they're related, because I know the Khaenri'ah used to have a king as well. And I know the Dendro Archon disappeared in Khaenri'ah. So, unless those two are related, then maybe? But yeah, so far the story was pretty good. I just kind of wish Paimon would just not talk more than anything, really. Because during that day, cutting off her arm business, if Paimon just didn't speak, it would be so much more impactful. Oh, that looks fancy. Some pyramid business going on. Damn. That's actually pretty cool. I wonder if we can climb on top of this thing and just take a peek at the sky, because I kind of wonder what's going on up there. It's a pretty big change of atmosphere from the previous part of the desert. Looks like the end of the world is coming here. But I do like the sky that's going on. Looks pretty cool. And it's like some sort of double pyramid stuff going on.
They got here before us.
Uh-oh. Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held everyone up?
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. Although, you brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Grandpa! Why is there only one of them?
Rahman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word. What's this about?
It's a one-for-one exchange. Sounds fair, don't you think? Well, let me put it this way. Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archon's people is already a huge compromise on my part. Don't you think you've asked enough?
You stay right there!
What does DA use the basic claymore? What's her signature weapon?
Playmate! What do you think you're doing? Don't you see this blade here?
You coward! Why are your hands shaking?
Wait a second! It's a earthquake!
Damn. That's interesting.
Paimon's dizzy.
This day's going just great.
What a nuisance.
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected us. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may well have been the remains of Lesser Lord Kusanali's power inside the scholar's body. The Dendro Archon. The present one.
Grandpa? Grandpa? Oh no, he's getting confused again.
Hey, look around you.
Did there used to be a temple here?
It seems that when the sand dune collapsed, it exposed these underground structures. The symbols on the gate belong to King Deshret's civilization. This structure must be ancient. Over time, the sandstorms completely buried it and left it in the state we see now. It could have been an underground palace in the distant past.
Oh, a miracle. Praise King Deshret!
What's he doing here? And his men too?
They must have fallen down here with us. Pretty lucky if you ask me. Most of them seem in really bad shape, except for him. He got off lightly.
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted lord has shown us the way to his sacred palace.
He's not actually gonna go in there, is he?
As it happens, I want to take a look inside too.
What are you doing?
Don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of King Deshret's civilization appear. 2 major deities are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame not to witness them both.
Paimon thought you weren't interested in gods.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being, or creature, you could say. New discoveries are always worth investigating. Whether they have anything to do with gods is neither here nor there.
Raman, what are you gonna do about your men?
I'll just let them lay here. King Deshret will take care of his people.
I guess we're gonna finally discover who this King Deshret lad is.
You want me on your team?
It's full of life here. This defies comprehension. It looked completely desolate from the outside. Yet, it flows with energy inside.
Yeah, and there's so many plants. It's so pretty.
Sir Raman.
Huh? Me?
Do you see another Raman here?
Are you mocking me? What do you mean, sir?
Interpret it however you want, but there's something I'd like to draw your attention to. While this structure is clearly left over from King Deshret's civilization, the energy that flows in here is that of the Dendro Archon.
Whatever you say. It's not like I have a vision.
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an academic journey.
It does seem kinda strange. If that's true, then we might have to explore this whole area to find an explanation.
Not 100% sure what I need to do. I guess I did it. Okay. Not sure what I did, but I did it.
Solidify! Time for retribution!
Sure, if you want, Bean. I don't mind.
Stabilize!
Ring cutter.
Oh, I see. I was like, I don't really get the pickup part, but I see. I mean, it's not the most terrible pickup line I've ever heard. Usually pickup lines are bad in general. Like, it's not your fault, they're just always not good. I mean, at least it's somewhat creative. I'll give you marks for that.
Teamwork is strength. No, my sword.
Time for retribution! This is order. Solidify! Stabilize.
I guess this is Keen Dash, right? I'm kinda lost, honestly, not gonna lie. Oh, I see. But it doesn't really have like a teleport thingy here. So how would I do this? Because I know the entire idea is probably for me to get there. But the problem with that, there's no teleport here. So how would I do that? Oh no, I know. Never mind. I'm silly. Yeah, my brain just stopped working for a sec. I forgot. And I'll just reverse here. Sorry about that, my brain just stopped working for a second.
Get out of here!
Gather.
Not sure what I did, but I did something.
Adventure time.
It's a sight to see. King Deshret's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of King Deshret.
It's getting brighter! Oh, it looks so beautiful!
Looks pretty cool. Reminds me of the Radiant Shogun quest.
Wait. What's that?
That's
A
Anubis.
flowers, and it looks like there's something among them.
These are King Deshret runes.
They left something behind. Yes. It's an elegy written in an ancient script.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient King Deshret script?
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
Jesus Christ, 20? God damn. I thought I was special for knowing 3.
He's not serious, right?
There's still something off about this place. The elemental energy here is too concentrated. The scent of life. Is it trying to tell us something?
Is this it?
Analyzing.
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal remains. Excellent. There's a device from King Deshret's civilization in this gravesite. I'll transmit the information over and project it for everyone to see.
Isn't sharing knowledge against the Academia's rules?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for yourself. You'll understand after watching it.
Let's see.
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. King Deshret brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Ruka Devata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping King Deshret to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep.
I guess that's Sino's dad.
Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
The priest's memories.
No. No, impossible.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So the former Dendro Archon and King Deshret were never enemies at all.
But this doesn't make any sense. The Dendro Archon's followers, they're clearly...
Was that the former Dendro Archon? She became so tiny in the end.
I still wonder what this forbidden knowledge business is all about. Like, what did King Deshret actually find?
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt King Deshret's technology. You've just witnessed his priest's last words.
I've never heard about any of this before. The surviving followers of King Deshret all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. We refuse to believe any of the rumors. King Deshret's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization, it was all Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's doing.
Is that the giant snake one? I think it was killed because Raiden didn't like it. Wasn't that the case? I think the snake was trying to devour one of the islands. Wasn't that the case? Oh, I didn't know that. Because I thought the entire point of that was that Orobashi was trying to devour one of the islands, and Raiden Shogun killed him because of that.
We saw her as nothing more than a traitor who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis. Just like us humans, fighting, feuding, double-crossing each other to survive in the desert.
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I hadn't seen this for myself, if I hadn't witnessed his last words with my own eyes, ears, and heart.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. Was it like part of the story, or is it like just some lore from other parts? Because I don't remember learning about this. That's quite interesting.
How could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known. Am I really supposed to believe that after all these years, all this time seeking revenge. Suddenly now my enemy is my savior?
I see, Savik. That's pretty interesting, because I didn't read all of the books. I read a few in Genshin, but I never knew this fact, because the only thing I knew about Oroboshi was from like the main story, which all it really showed was him like attacking one of the islands, and Rain Shogun was like pissed about it, so she killed him. Oh yeah, that's quite intriguing, honestly. Because I guess Celestia doesn't want anyone know how it was created. So just kill anyone who finds about it.
Raman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
Dia, tell me, my Eremites and I, what are we even fighting for?
Hey, how you doing?
I'll live. Thanks. I should probably go. Can't just stay here forever.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. I feel deeply ashamed of everything I've done. You'll get everything you're asking for. But please, give me some time. After everything that's happened here today, somehow I need to explain it to the others.
Guess it's just resolved like this.
It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with. Dia, this is where our camp's located. Make a note of it.
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow. I'll convince everyone that we're all on the same side. And I'll return every last one of your your village keepers. We'll share our other resources with you too.
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy is the sages.
Yes. The gods never gave up on anyone. It's the people responsible for all this that need to face the consequences of their actions.
True.
That must have been rough, but he seems to have figured things out now.
Ramon's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction in the desert is no easy feat. It's too bad he was held back by his belief in King Deshret. But now that that's changed, I guess we have a few more people on our side.
The outcome, at least, is favorable.
We should get going too. Let's head back, have a proper meal, and a nice, long sleep. We'll need all our energy tomorrow.
Sino, I guess, recognized his dad.
Stop yelling.
My thoughts exactly. Thank you, Sino. We're still doing Act 4. That's surprising. I thought that would be the end of it, but I guess not. You can even see the temple from here, like the entire red smoke coming out of it. I wonder what it's all about, actually. Because it looks like it sucks in the sand and transported into the pyramid somehow. Something like that.
Raman, we're here.
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers back to Aru village shortly.
I guess all I can say now is thanks for agreeing to help.
Don't mention it. I think we can both agree you went to hell and back for it. But we share a common cause now. From here on out, we're allies.
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them. Follow me.
I'm surprised he changed his mind so quickly. I still don't trust him,
These
but
are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help you now.
We've been all over the desert trying to find you!
That's right.
General Mahamatra? No, no! Make it quick, please! Swift and painless!
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino, they turned pale like they've seen a ghost!
I mean, can you blame them?
You should have known that I would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders! You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done all this by ourselves!
No, not Sino! He's gonna tear us limb from limb!
I could do worse.
Please have mercy!
Start talking. Otherwise, I'll have to resort to other methods.
Like tickling you to death. And you wouldn't want that.
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently. Why? What are they trying to accomplish?
They, wanted to extract canned knowledge.
Don't play dumb. You know what I'm really asking. They extract divine canned knowledge. Then what?
I really don't know how to explain it.
Well, you better start talking or you'll be sorry!
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything. You're serious, aren't you?
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, scholarly breakthroughs have been few and far between. The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was still with us.
Continue.
Well, that's because he is Satwick, and you can't tell me otherwise.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor. He brought a gnosis and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's research facilities. The Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said those words, everyone's expression changed. He asked them, "Do you wish to create a god?"
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia looks like.
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an exquisite humanoid puppet. After that, they harvested dreams via the Zeb-Zerus Festival Samsara, maximizing the Akasha's output. With the doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it into a divine core. Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom. For that to happen, they needed a huge quantity of divine canned knowledge.
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted is of divine origin?
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the Scholar's madness for centuries, but to no avail. Nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Alhaitham. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. In other words, it's the source of the God of Wisdom's omniscience and omnipotence.
You must have noticed by now. The Academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise control over knowledge and wisdom that matters. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and omnipotence that burns in their blood. Some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in respect to sources of light. For the sages, their only source of hope is the existence of a deity who embodies the acme of wisdom. This is but a form of phototaxis. For many scholars, the absence of a god of wisdom means stumbling in the darkness for the duration of their lives.
Then what does Lesser Lord Kusanali mean to you? Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have a new god, why try to create another one?
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated her as a god. When the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But upon evaluation, they found that at the time she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. This forced them to accept that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata had indeed passed away.
I mean, she's only like 5. Like, come on, how wise do you expect a child to be?
Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's Gnosis had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power, nor the spectacular insight expected of a god of wisdom. Slowly but surely, people began to forget about her existence.
So, this is the path the sages have chosen.
All right, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad mood, then let's change up our scenery. Raman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village. And these 2 scholars, they're coming too.
Sure.
Fair enough.
The village keepers you found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them. The 2 new scholars are being kept under close supervision, too. Really great work, everyone.
The atmosphere is so heavy. Hey! Say something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about? In that case, let's all get some water and try to think about something else.
Or I can go fetch some snacks.
Oh, Paimon's so coming with you!
Do you have any plans, Traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
So you were still withholding some information?
Alright.
Lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super surreal to hear you talk about it again.
What a whirlwind of a story. I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
It seems like there'll be more issues to face in the days ahead than I'd anticipated.
Still, now's a good time to make our next move. Now that Ramon's joined us, we'll be an even stronger team.
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every sense. We cannot allow it to continue.
So, everyone, are we on the same page?
Crush the sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
Well, let's brainstorm a little more about what other resources we can draw on.
The next time we gather here, we must have a solid plan.
Yep, it'll work out for sure.
Alright. Looks like the next part is the final bit of Karen's sumeru story. Act 5. I think I'll probably stop here for today. It's a good ending point. We kind of rounded it all up. And I think tomorrow we probably will finish it up. Hopefully. I'll try my best to finish it up. But yeah, thanks guys for coming to stream. It was fun. Hopefully for you as well. And tomorrow, I'll see you at the same time, 8 PM GMT. Hopefully if you have a minute to spare, come say hi. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest and the rest of your day. And hopefully tomorrow will be an interesting experience. We're gonna finally meet Scaramouche and fight him. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye!